Hi everyone and welcome to day 25. I'll learn how to do crow and yoga fun. So with this one, I'm literally just teaching you how to do crow and some variations of crow pose. And if you aren't aware of what crow is, we are balancing on our hands and I'll talk you through it in a momento. So with this, we are going to want to be doing wrist stretches. I'm literally just teaching you how to do crow and the variations of today. So listen to your body, make sure you stretch those wrists out, perhaps even go back to one of my other videos and do a warm-up sequence from there and then move along. So maybe do your everyday yoga stretch to start with. I can't remember which day it was. I think it was in the first week. But yeah, go back to that day and do that first and then maybe come back to this. And what we're going to do is we're going to balance on those wrists and make sure they're nice and warmed up. Grab drinks nearby, lay out your mat in a space that's got lots of room around you. And if you fancy doing what I like to refer to as a security blanket, feel free to grab a literal blanket, a pillow, one of your yoga blocks, or anything that you'd be happy to potentially face plant into. I'm not saying you're going to face plant, but it's always nice to have something there just in case you do end up toppling over. So without further ado, get warmed up, get stretched out, and please do a cool down after this. And as always, listen to your body. If it doesn't feel right today, feel free to skip today and come back to it at another point if you fancy. So without further ado, let's get floating and have some fun. Hi everyone, so get yourself towards the back of your mat. So we're going to be floating on our tiptoes to start with. And to talk you through, if you've never seen crow before, I'll just demonstrate what it is and then we'll go through it. So hands spread out nice and wide on the mat. We lift our bottoms up as high as we can go and walk our feet in. Then the knees either come onto the outside of the elbows or onto the back of the arms. We look towards the top of the mat and then we slowly lift one foot up and then maybe the other one. So crow pose today. Right, so let's get talking into it to start with. So let's go using our props to begin with. So whatever you've got for your security blanket, if you want to have that nearby, just place it towards the top of the mat. So we're at the bottom of the mat, we're floating on our tiptoes. What I'd like you to do is just place the hands on the mat about shoulder width wide. We want the fingertips spread as wide as you can go, and then we just pinch the ground with our fingertips. So we're really pushing in. What this does is it engages the muscles in our hands to almost act like a bit of a tripod for us. It helps us to stay up. It's the same as what our toes do when we're balancing. So as you inhale, I'd like you to shift the body weight forwards and see if you can lift the tailbone towards the ceiling. And then from here, we walk our feet in as close as we can towards our hands. And I'm going to talk you through first taking the elbows onto the outsides of the knees. So as we bend down through our legs, I'd like you to take the elbows or into the insides of the knees and the knees onto the outside of the elbows. So we're hugging those elbows in towards our body. So the knees are hugging in, the elbows are pushing out nice and wide. So you've got this almost push-pull sensation. I'd like you to keep looking towards the top of the mat rather than folding forwards or looking down. And then from here, we can slowly lift one foot up and then the other. Maybe all we're doing today is sort of tap dancing, one foot then the other. But over time, you might find you can float off. And the pillow's here just in case the head lowers down like so. And you've got something to fall on. So the first option is that one. And just to demonstrate the push-pull, I'll chop in a different angle from here. So we've got another option as well. So instead of placing the knees on the outside of the elbows, we can try and hug the knees onto the insides of the arms up towards the armpit area. So exactly the same again. We're on those tiptoes, fingers spread nice and wide. We lift the bottom up high and see if we can place the knees on the back of the arms. Same thing applies here. We walk ourselves in as close as we can, go with the feet, look towards the top and see if we can lift the feet up off the mat. Now, if you're like me, I just slipped off a little bit with my clothes. So just breathing in, lifting up as high as we can go, and then lowering down gently when we can. So there are our first options. You can have a little play around with that. If you have a block, we can also use that. So if you want to use a block, we place it towards the back of the mat, and what this will do is help us to find the height in our hips as we lower down. So maybe we come up to standing, and we just come up onto our tiptoes, place our hands down on the mat, and then just float forwards. And maybe we lower down. So options there. Okay, so there are crow. If you fancy just practicing that today, you are welcome to do so. If you want to join me in side crow, come to face towards the camera. We're going to leave our block to the side for now. So I'll talk you through without block first, and then we'll go with the block option. Oh, tumbling over. Okay, so we're on our tiptoes. We're lifting the heels up as high as we can go, sending the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and hands to heart center in prayer. Maybe we stay here. Or maybe you join me with twisting to look over that left shoulder, right elbow outside of the left knee, and just take the hands down to the mat. Now, I'd want you to look to see where the hands are. So the hand should be, so the right hand should be in line with the left knee. So we've got a nice little square going on in our bodies. Then look to the left hand, it should be in line with the right hand. Then from here, the left hand should be in line with the left heel of our left foot. Then what I want you to do is bend through the elbows and hug them in towards center. And take the back elbow to, there's almost like a little hip part of your body that can become a shelf as we lean onto our elbow. We look towards the top of our mat and see if we can lift the feet up off of the ground. So just float here. We keep hugging our knees in. Maybe from here we can extend that top leg. Oh, I'm falling off. So if you've got clothes on that's slippery, it can be quite difficult, but maybe we can try and extend the top leg away from us. Bring it back in, lower down. Let me try the other side. So if you want to use a block, we do exactly the same. So it just helps us to find that height in our bodies. So we come onto tiptoes. We lift up nice and tall. Twist to the side, elbow to the knee, hands to the mat. Check we've got that square going on in our bodies. And then from here, we find that little shelf, we lift up, maybe have a play with the foot, reaching away again, and then maybe coming back in. Lowering down, it's quite hard to lower down when you've got the block. So having a play with that today. So just thought I'd throw this angle in as well so you could see what side crow looks like from a slightly different angle. So creating that square with the body again, and then finding that shelf for the back hip to sit on. And then slowly see if you can shift the weight to take the feet up off of the ground. And just as a heads up, try and come out of it a little bit more gracefully than I did. Okay guys, so this is the side crow, and then I'm going to throw in another bit of fun for you to try if you fancy it. So this will be going into tripod headstand. So if you're happy with your tripod headstand, you come into crow and then slowly try and lower the head down towards the ground. So just make sure you find your base okay. Lower the head down and then see if you can lift up both feet or one foot at a time, coming to your tripod headstand. And then try to come out of it and return back towards the crow. So bend the knees back in and lift up. So just a bit of fun for you guys. So there we have it there, your options for your crow pose today. Hopefully that makes sense for you all. And hopefully you have lots of fun. As always, eat well, drink well, and sleep well. Namaste.